I like to tell stories, and my name is Wallace, and I am a holy vampire. And all the stories I like to tell is my own, but from different times and different uh, viewpoints, and different characters sometimes. And I was thinking about something that I wanted to talk about because it is important to me. It's part of my development uh, of how I used to be a bad person. And I used to feel like it. And I was tortured by it. And other people tortured me with that idea, that belief, that weakness, and that strength that I found in being bad. So, am I a bad person still? No. My story is about change, and I was thinking, like, what would that mean to somebody? What would that mean to somebody who's wanting to change because they feel bad about themselves, and they just feel like their life is bad and that they're a bad person, and they were like me, or I was like them in certain ways, in common ways, maybe in ways that are familiar. Talk about what I had to do for myself to get out of that, to where I wanted to be, to learn what I wanted to learn, or should I say that to hold on to something that was going to steer me in the right direction. And that thing inside of me, that feeling, that thing was, it didn't have a name. It didn't have a. It was like something in the background, and that I only, when I was feeling tremendous change in my life, during those moments, did I feel that thing. And it slowly got more and more. Each time my life turned in a direction that was feeling like a possibility. I didn't know. I didn't have all the answers. But each time entering into a new phase of my life that I liked, where I thought was, maybe I didn't like it, maybe I didn't. I was confused, which is common for me. And I've gotten experience and wisdom about that feeling of confusion. That thing that was in the background got more, became more aware of it. began to try to, maybe I didn't care about it. I probably didn't care about it. Even if I was aware of it, I didn't care about it. Didn't care, And then I started to think, oh, what is it? I'm not, and looking back, I'm like, what is it? What would I call that? And I'm feeling it right now. I was feeling it, like, is that what some people call, like, if some of these words had a actual physical representation in my body, my brain, it feels like something. It feels like a solid object. It's like when I focus on my, I don't know, my hand or something, or how I'm holding up my side of my head right here. You feel, as a physical feeling. That's what I'm talking about. So I'm like, what is that? And why is it important? Well, it's important because it was there, developing, as I was becoming more of a person I wanted to be. Because I wanted to be. I didn't. Probably most of the time, I didn't want. You ask me, I want to be a good person. I say, yeah, I'm a good person. I do good things. And not realizing that, that there was anything else for me. Didn't think there was. I had plenty of reasons to say there wasn't. And few reasons, if any, to say that there was. Who cares if there was? That thing that was there, the first thing that comes to mind, I want to say that is, I want to say a few things, a couple words. I want to say a phrase, God's love, a word, drive. But really, I think it's a combination of that. But I feel it's like a conduit, a connection, like with electricity. It is a piece of my body that is connected to spirituality. Is that the case? What part of my body isn't connected to spirituality? If we're talking in those kind of terms, but that's. But if there was a connecting piece, perhaps, that I could feel, perhaps that is it. But I don't know. It's just a guess. So I think that's a powerful statement that I would pass on to people, because when I was going through it in a bad way, and I was a bad person, I didn't want help. I definitely didn't want. I may say, like, yeah, I want that, but no, I didn't. But there's a part of me that did. There's a part of me that didn't control or have control over, that didn't want to give up. And instead of finding God, found other things. And I started, going to therapy, talking to people, starting to trust people and stuff like that. I didn't want to do any of that. And if I did, I was being I'd have other reasons, or I'd say I'd have to do it, But I know I didn't have to do anything. And I developed those mentalities. But still, there was that thing inside me that I didn't control that was bringing me somewhere. There's the phrase God's love, the word drive, the physical thing that was building. That was getting more developed physically. As I was doing therapy, as I was listening, as I was yelling, shouting. But I had my reasons. And as I was doing those things, and I was shouting and yelling for my reasons, even then, that thing was building inside of me, that physical thing. My spiritual connection. And it brought about other things other people started to notice. And if you have somebody notice something about you, they're probably going to say something. Over time, enough people started saying things, and me doing things, and talking and listening and having conversations. That thing kept building until I started to realize a lot of my old ways didn't make any sense. But not only did it not make sense, I didn't want it to make sense. That thing inside of me, that drive, God's love, that peace inside my brain or whatever, that physical thing that was developed enough, said, nah, no, I'll try something else. And then I made a big change. And then another big change. And another one. Until I didn't do it for desperation anymore. Desperation was there. Desperation. But it wasn't desperation. That wasn't the main reason. It was just good decision making after a while. And enough good decision making, good choices. You become a good person. So that was the process that got me out of darkness. Being a bad guy. Learned a lot. Those mentalities, a lot of things some skills I still value, are useful, knowledge that is useful in communicating with others. But what overshadows that, what stands above that, looking down, is my discipline and wisdom. And above that, standing over it, looking down, is my spiritual connection with God. and the vampire inside of me, and its spiritual connection with God. So I appreciate y'all for supporting my channel, spreading positive awareness of kind vampires, bridging communication between all people and vampires are people too, supernatural people of any kind, or people with inclinations or special abilities that may go unrecognized. We are people too, all of us. So I appreciate y'all for watching and supporting my channel. I'll talk to you later.